Hi. In last video, we have seen what is the Python identifier and Python reserved keyword. In this video, we are going to see what is the variables in Python and what are the comments in a Python. So let's start, but you can subscribe my channel. So the first question came in mind like, what is the variable in a Python? So Python variable are simply container to store the data values. In a simple word, if you want to store anything, then you require one variable. So that variable is nothing but any container in which you want to store any value. There might be chance based on your data, the variables type will be changed. So this is the variable in a Python. So in simple word, we can say Python variable are simply container for storing the data value. So let me show you how it's exactly look like, because the people who are learning the Python as their first programming language they don't have any idea like what is the variable, how it's actually work. So let me show you. Yeah, one second. So for example, you want to store one number. For that, to store that number, you want one container, and you are giving to name that container is nothing but identifier to identify that container, and that container is nothing but the variable. I know most of the people confused, but I'm just trying to link the previous topics with this current topic. Like in previous topic, we have learned the identifiers. So, but just I'm trying to interlink that to both the things. So, for example, you want one container to store the value 10. So you are giving a equals to 10. So the 10 is the value which is you want to store in the variable a. So a is nothing but the name of that variable. So for example, there is a one variable where you want to store the value 10. So that a variable is nothing but the identifier. So in previous video, we have already seen how the identifier is working, what is the identifier, what are the rules to define the identifiers. So you want to store any string value. For that, for example, you are giving the variable name equals to, you can give any name. So for example, you want to store Gridi show. So name equals to Gridi show, where Gridi show is the value and the name is the container, or container is nothing but the variable. And for that variable, you have given the name like that. So don't be confused between the identifier variables, because it's most of people getting confused between the identifier and the variable. So even if you forget about the identifier, is it okay? Keep in mind variable only. So a equals to 10. A is the variable where you are storing the value 10. Then again, name equals to Gridi show, where name is the variable where you are storing the Gridi show, which is value. So this is how the variables work. In simple word, you can say a programming language, if you want to store any value, then we have to declare variables, because inside the variables only we can store the data. So I hope you get clear idea what is the variables. So the next point is the comment. Let me show you. See, the first question came in a mind, what is the comments in Python? So comments, first I will read the standard definition, then I will break down this definition. So let me read. Comment in a Python are the line in the code that are ignored by the interpreter during the execution of the program. So the comments are the line in the code that are ignored by the interpreter during the execution of the program. So might be people think if it is ignored by the interpreter, a person who don't know the interpreter, so no need to focus on that thing. Want to run any program, then we need an interpreter. Interpreter will responsible for running the Python program. As I already told you, Python is the scripting language. If you remember the definition of the Python, we have till Python is the high level interpreted scripting dynamically typed language. So to run the scripting languages, we require interpreter. So again, I'm telling, the people might be think, if anyhow the line or comment is going to be ignored by the interpreter, or you can directly say by the Python, so what is the use of writing this line? So the second point, comment enhance the readability of the code and help the programmer to understand the code very easily. There are two types of comment in Python, single line comments and multi-line comments. So let me show you this one also. One second. See, A equals to 10 and name equals to Gridi show. So first let me print these two variables. One second. And in a Python, if you want to print anything, then simply we need to type print. Then we need to pass that variable or that particular things. So click on run. See, 10 Gridi show. So this is how we can print anything in the Python programming language. We can simply type the print function, and inside the print function we have to mention the things to print. So I was talking about comment. So let me show you. For example, you want to provide the comments. Comments basically helps to developer to understand the things in the future. For example, what happened? You have did some logic, you have write some logic, you have written some logic, and you have not maintained any comments. So there might be chance after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month, if you are coming again and seeing that code, you again confused for what purpose I have written this logic, how I have written this logic. So basically the comments is nothing but the type of documentation. If you want to provide any documentation in a programming language inside the code only, then we can go for the comments. So for example, Gridi show, you have taken one variable name and you have a given value Gridi show, but you want to remember also or provide documentation also, like what is the Gridi show. So for that we have a hash. Hash is the keyword to for the single line comment. So write hash. Then, for example, I want to give some description like Gridi. One second. Gridi is my channel name. Channel name. Such type of comments or documentation, if you want to provide in the code itself, then you can go with the comments. So let me run again. See the same output. And Gridi show. The whatever I have written inside the comments, it is not going to be printed anywhere. So the point I have told you, it is ignored by the interpreter. Let me show you the definition again. One second. See, ignored by the interpreter during the execution of the program. So the same thing, whatever I have written inside the comments, it is ignored by the interpreter. So this is called single line comments. So hash is the keyword. After hash, whatever you will return, it will not going to be print anywhere. There is a one more comment type, multi-line comments. So let's show you that one also. So for multi-line comments, 3 dots, then here also 3 dots. Then let me click on run. See, whatever I have written inside this 3 dot, it's not going to be printed anywhere. For example, if I am copying this one and printing outside, see, it will not print name also, because name also inside the, or let me remove this one, and I want to print something like hello world. then run. Say it's printing hello world. So whatever I have written inside these triple dots, it is not going to be printed anywhere. So keep in mind, if you want comment or one single line, then you can go with the hash. But if you want to comment multiple line, more than one line, at that time it is not a good practice to go and put hash in every line. So the simplest way, start with triple quote and cover entire the code and end with the triple quote. So whatever you have written inside the triple quotes, it will not going to be print anywhere. So that only we have seen what is the variables, and then we have seen what is the comments. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe my channel. Bye.